Hello! This video is going to be covering blood clotting, which is part of IB's topic 6.3, Defense Against Infectious Disease. The first thing you need to understand is that we have a variety of defensive levels in our body, and our first one is our skin and our mucous membranes. We're going to get into how these areas help protect us from infection. Our skin is the first line of defense, and it stops pathogens from getting inside of our bodies. Our skin has multiple layers, and the outer layer is actually just dead cells. We have glands that release oils onto the skin, which have antimicrobial properties. We also have mucus, and mucus helps capture pathogens in the areas that have direct access into our body, like the nose. Unlike the skin, the mucus lining has living cells, and those living cells secrete different liquids like our boogers or our tears or wax, for example, and those help to catch pathogens. If our skin is broken, going back to the skin, that leaves us vulnerable to pathogens, so blood clotting is an important part of our immune system. Having an open wound leaves us exposed to pathogens like bacteria because it gives them direct access into our bloodstream, which travels everywhere in our bodies. We also don't want to lose too much blood, so this is where blood clots come in handy. If someone gets a cut and they have a normal clotting response, they're going to have a platelet and a fibrin band-aid that helps the wound heal. This process of clotting is called coagulation, and it basically means that a liquid is turning into a solid. There's a very specific way that coagulation, otherwise known as clotting, happens, and it starts with our platelets and our damaged cells. When a blood vessel is broken, like if you accidentally cut yourself with a pair of scissors, the damaged cells will trigger a cascade that starts a clot. The platelets in the blood, which are pretty much running through the bloodstream to detect issues like this, those platelets start to stick together where the damage happened. As the platelets start to stick to the site of the injury, vasoconstriction happens, and this is where there's less blood flowing past that area. This is to allow the damaged area to start healing. Once the clot starts, there's a chemical reaction that causes prothrombin to become an enzyme thrombin. Thrombin triggers fibrinogen to become fibrin. The fibrin attaches to the newly clumpy platelets and acts as a little thread to hold the clot together. Eventually, the clot won't be needed anymore, so the enzyme plasmin, which is a new enzyme, will break it down when it's time. Blood clots are great a lot of the time. As I said, it stops you from bleeding out and prevents infections. Sometimes, however, blood clots can be deadly. One of the places where blood clots are most dangerous is in the coronary arteries. The coronary arteries transfer oxygenated blood from the inside of the heart to the outer muscle wall of the heart. When plaque builds up, as seen in atherosclerosis, which we talked about before, it narrows the passageways that lead to the area that keeps the heart beating. When a piece of plaque, like from high cholesterol, breaks off, it triggers a coagulation cascade, which creates a thrombosis, which is a fancy word for a blood clot. This ends up blocking the artery and can cause a heart attack. That's all for this video, and I'll see you next time.